Now I request to observe the safety algorithm. Now the safety algorithm. Again I am repeating the safety algorithm. Within this, the finish is the one vector of length n. There are n number of processes. So for each process, the finish value initially is false, means the process is not yet completed. Find a process such that it is not completed, finish of I, that means finish of I is equal to false, and the required resources are available for that process. The expression is need I is less than or equal to available j. These two conditions must hold. That means the process is not completed and the required resources of for that process is available, then allocate all the resources to the process. You come to the step number 3. From step 2 to step number 3, only when you find one process. If the process, you find the process, then grant all the required resources and then execute that process. Once the process is completed and it release all the allocated resources of that process and make available all those resources to the remaining process. That's why the available matrix or available value can be increased and make the particular process is completed. That means finish of I is equal to true. Then you repeat the same step for the remaining processes. So you go to the step number 2. Again you find another process which is not yet completed and the required resources for that process is available. Then you come to 3 and then go for 2. This is the cycle. If all processes are completed, then there is no such I exist. That means all processes are completed. If no such I exists, then go to step 4. If all processes are completed, means finish of I value is for all processes. The finish of I value is true for all processes. Then this condition fail. Then it comes to, if no such I exists, go to step 4. It comes to step number 4. If unverify, if finish of I value is true for all I, then the system is safe. At least one finish value is false, means your system is not safe. This is the safety algorithm. Resource request algorithm for process PI. If the resource is a request of j is equal to k, means request I of j means the process PI requesting k instances of resource rj, whether the request is valid request or not. That is determined by resource request algorithm. By verifying if the request I is less than or equal to need I, that means that is a valid request. If it is the request I is less than or equal to the need I, then you go for step number 2. Otherwise, it raises an error condition. That means the process has exceeded its maximum claim, because it request is greater than need, means it exceeds the maximum claim. If the request is less than need, means that is the valid, then come to the step number 2. Within step number 2, it again verify whether the requested resources are available or not. That means request I is less than or equal to the available. Then go to step number 3. Otherwise, if it is not available, the resource is not available, the process must wait, right, until the resources are available. Whenever the requested resources are available, then you come to the step number 3 and modify the data structure. The requested resources are available, so allocation is allocation plus request. If the requested resources are allocated to the process, the available value is decreased with available is equal to available minus request. Similarly, the need of that process PI is equal to previous need minus allocated resources, the request resource. And then you verify whether, after modifying this data structure, you verify whether your system is safe or not. If the system is safe, all the resources are physically allocated to the process PI. If the system is unsafe, then PI must wait and the old resource allocation state is restored. It can be restored to the previous state. One example of Banker's algorithm. There are 5 processes from P0 to P4, and there are 3 resources A, B, C. A, it has 10 instances, B 5 instances, C 7 instances, and there is a one current snapshot at time T0. This is the allocation, this is the max and available. Allocation means P0, there are A, B, C 3 resources. For P0, there is 0 resources are allocated of a resource type A. 1 instance is allocated of resource type B, and 0 instance is allocated to P0. Similarly, P1 200 means there are 2 A's, A resources, and 0 instance of B resource, 0 instance of C resource. Like this is the allocation. And a maximum, in order to complete the process P0, maximum there are 7 A resources, 5 B resources, and 3 C resources. These are the maximum resources to complete the process P0. Similarly, for P1, the maximum is 3T2. P2, the maximum is 902. P3, the maximum is like that. After allocation and the maximum, the available resources are 332. These are the available resources for all processes. So you can calculate the need by using the formula max minus allocation. Need of P0 is equal to 7 minus 0 is 7, 5 minus 1 is 4, 3 minus 0 is 3. 7, 4, 3. This is the 7, 4, 3 is the need. Similarly, you can calculate max minus allocation for each and every process. This is the need. Then you implement the Banker's algorithm. By implementing the Banker's algorithm, you will get the sequence. First of all, P1 will complete, then P3, P4, P2 and P0. All processes finish values are true, then your system is safe. If at least one process finish value is false, then your system is not safe. Next topic is deadlock detection. So one is the deadlock detection algorithm and then recovery scheme. First, deadlock detection. So first of all, the deadlock detection is for two ways. One is if the resource is single instance, we use the wait for graph or resource allocation graph to detect the deadlock. If it is multiple instance, the wait for graph is not suitable. We use a separate algorithm like Banker's algorithm to detect the deadlock for multiple instances. First, we discuss about the single instance of each resource type. Wait for graph. Nodes are processes. PI requests the PI is waiting for PJ, means if PI is waiting for PJ, a node PI. So there is an edge from PI to PJ, means PI is waiting for PJ. Nodes are processes, PI and PJ. Periodically invoke an algorithm that searches for a cycle. So the periodically it invokes. So whether the cycle is, you identify whether the cycle is in the graph or not. That is periodically you verify. If there is a cycle, then there exists a deadlock. If there is no cycle, there is no deadlock. So for that time complexity is order of n square. This is the resource allocation graph. So process P1 is requesting R1 held by P2. P2 is again requesting R3 held by P5. P2 requesting R4 held by P3. P3 is again requesting R5 and that R5 is held by P4. Similarly, P2 is requesting R5. So the P4 again requesting R2, that is held by P1. This is the one resource allocation graph. From this you can determine wait for graph. So here P1 is waiting for P2. There is an edge from P1 to P2. P2 is waiting for P3, P5, and there is an edge from P2 to P5. And P2 is waiting for P3. There is an edge from P2 to P3. And P2 is waiting for P4, and there is an edge from P2 to P4. P3 is waiting for P4. Again there is an edge from P3 to P4. And P4 is waiting for P1. There is an edge from P4 to P1. Now here you verify whether the cycle is there or not. This is the one cycle and this is the one more cycle. The two cycles are existed. Hence this is in deadlock. Cycle from P1 to P2, P2 to P3, P3 to P4, P4 to P1. Similarly, P1 to P2, P2 to P4 and P4 to P1. There are two cycles existed. Hence it is deadlock. Now several instances. For that, wait for graph is not suitable. You go for another algorithm that is much like Banker's algorithm. We use the same data structures. One is available, second one is the allocation, and third one is the request. Request is also n by m matrix, indicates current request of each process. Request of I comma j, request I of j is equal to k means process pi requests the resource rj. There is a k number of k instances. There are k instances of resource type rj is requested by process pi. This is the deadlock detection algorithm for multiple instances. This is much like Banker's algorithm. Work is equal to available, and initially the Banker's algorithm, so finish factor is false. That means all processes are not yet completed. Now here there is a one condition. Allocation I is not equal to 0 means no resource is allocated for the process Pi. That means allocation I is equal to 0. If allocation of I is not equal to 0 means there are some number of resources are allocated for process Pi. Allocation I is equal to 0 means no resource is allocated. So the particular process Pi is not in the race. Hence the process is completed. Just you consider as the process is completed. So you put the finish value is true for the process for allocation I is equal to 0. If allocation I is not equal to 0 means some of the resources are allocated for process Pi, then you make the finish value is false. That means all processes with finish value is equal to false means some of the resources are allocated for the processes and those processes are requesting for some other resources. Now the remaining steps are same like Banker's algorithm. Find a process or an index I such that it satisfies the both condition. One is the process is not completed and the requested resources is available. That means less than or equal to work means available. Then you grant the request and perform that operation. That means you go for the step number 3. And once it is completed, then make all those resources, allocated resources of the process Pi to the remaining other processes. So that's why hence work is equal to work plus the allocation I. That means the released resources of process Pi is this one allocation of I that is available for other resources, and make the particular process is true and repeat the same for the remaining processes. If no such I exists means the process is not yet completed and the requesting resources are not available. Then you come to the step number 4, and if finish of I is equal to false for some I, then the system is in deadlock. So if finish of I is equal to false means the Pi is in deadlock. That is about the detection of deadlock for single instance, and the second one is the multiple instance. Now we discuss about the recovery from deadlock. There are two things. One is by using process termination you can recover from deadlock, and resource preemption. This is the second method. Process termination is the first method. So first you find what are the processes involved in the deadlock. So about all the deadlocked processes, at the same time. About all the processes. That means it is very costly. Cost means resource utilization is very poor and the cost is high. So the next method is abort only one process and verify whether the deadlock is removed or not. Otherwise, you take the another process, you terminate the another process and verify whether the deadlock is eliminated or not. Like that, each and every time just you terminate one process one by one until the deadlock is eliminated. This is the second method for process termination. Within process termination, there are two methods. One is abort all deadlocked process. Second one is